good. How are you? I'm good. I think things are fine. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. So you're a comedian based out of Philadelphia. Tell us about yourself. We're going to start off. Actually, no, we're going to start with the question of the week. You're the first interview of the week. So if you could choose only one sandwich to eat for the rest of your life, what sandwich would it be?
Okay. I have a question. I have a
Okay.
question. Does pizza count as a sandwich? Because what is it but an open face sandwich?
If you close it up, yes, it would. Because technically, a sandwich is just two things sandwiched together.
Then pizza. Then pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah, I'd eat a
Okay. Now the
calzone.
other question, a calzone. That's doable. The big question there is if a pizza is an open face sandwich, are you going to put the slices on top of each other, top up, or squished together?
You got to go. You don't want the cheese and stuff on your hands. That's a bad sandwich.
But it wrecks the flavor if you do it the other way,
Yeah. Oh.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell us about yourself and what you do. Sorry about the weird stuff.
Yeah. It's not weird, man. I'm having fun. I do comedy. Hello. I stand up comedy. I do sketches and I don't improv, but I can. But like, yeah, I do all that stuff. I write. I have a podcast called All Black. I host a game show called Feud right now. That's live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7, and that's been pretty fun. And trying to figure out how to keep busy in the quarantine and trying to figure out how to do comedy without going on Zoom.
So, so without going on Zoom, good
Yeah.
luck. That's all I got to say. We're basically stuck to podcasts and Facebook Lives, right? So, what kind of comedy do you do? Where do you normally perform in Philadelphia and surrounding area? I guess.
Yeah. Philly right now, I run a show called Speakeasy Comedy at a bar called Callahan's. I'm usually there. I'm usually hanging out around like Helium Comedy Club and Punchline, just hanging out at those spots.
That's awesome. What kind of comedy do you do? Do you do like clean stuff, dirty stuff? What's your normal stuff that
Yeah.
you do?
I'm trying to be clean, but like some of the stuff, you're not going to be offended if I do a joke, will you?
Go ahead. If you offend my viewers and Facebook kicks me off, I'll be mad. But oh well. Go ahead.
Okay, this is a little. Okay. Uh, this isn't indicative of all of my comedy, but this is just like a joke that I like, and it's real short.
Yep.
There had to be one slave that liked getting whipped. That's it. That's all this joke is.
Dude, the only reason you can say that, the only reason you can say that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Holy cow! If I said that, I'd be beaten with sticks. Holy shit!
Trying to take advantage of the rules, man.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. How do you feel about the world that we live in right now with everything that's going on with coronavirus? How are you getting through it as a comedian and stuff?
I'm still living like I was living before, just no comedy. I'm still going to friends' house and stuff, and we're just drinking and doing shrooms.
Holy crap! That works. Where do you see your comedy career going from where you're at? Are you intending to be the next Chris Rock or something, or what do you want to do?
No, not like that. I don't know. I just want to be able to do it for a long time and like do it at a level where people will like remember me. Like I don't want to just be like a flash in the pan guy. I don't want to just be around. I don't just want to be here and then be done. I want to be around for a little bit. Like yeah, Chris Rock. Chris Rock is a good example because he's still around, and he puts out good work. Like anything he does, people are like, "Oh shit, Chris Rock is doing something new," and that's what I want to. That sounds good. Sorry, I'm moving my camera.
We're all good. So when you first got into comedy, obviously we all have heroes in the industry. Doesn't matter what we do, what industry we're in. Who were some of the big influences for you on comedy when you first started out?
When I first started, it was Patrice O'Neal, John Mulaney, and Dave Chappelle. Those are like. I know it's like a weird sandwich. It's like a weird Oreo. John Mulaney in the middle. But yeah, he was a great writer. He still is a great writer. And Patrice O'Neal was just very funny. I don't know if you know of him, but he was just a very funny comedian. He has a special called Elephant in the Room, and he has an audio special called Mr. P. And they're both like great. And then What was the other name? Dave Chappelle. You know Dave Chappelle's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
No,
Actually, I do know the Mr. P album. I've
yeah.
heard it before, and it's been a long time. And thank you for bringing that up. That's a good album.
Yeah.
So when you perform,
Nuggets.
sorry,
So, so he starts out and then ordering making fun of that lady for ordering the chicken tenders. Like, you got the chicken tenders? Like, yeah.
Sorry. So as a comedian, how do you base your material? Where does it actually come from?
Okay. Sometimes it's like real life, and then it's like exaggerated life. You know, like like right now I'm writing a joke about being 30 and how like it's like you don't just turn 30, you can't just become 30, you turn 30, you know? Like it's like transforming into a werewolf. Like the werewolf doesn't just become a werewolf, it hurts on his way to a werewolf. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
that makes sense.
I'm turning 30 soon, and I just thinking this is going to hurt. So that's where it came from.
To be honest, you have no idea. You have no idea.
I'm
So
scared. I'm scared of the future because of the body pains.
you know, I'm 35.
Yeah.
35. Yeah, I'm 35, and the pain I've experienced in the last 5 years is unimaginable to me before 30. So your show is on. I'm assuming you're doing Facebook Lives and stuff like that for your shows. What times do they air? What are they called? First off,
it's called Feud, the game show of hilariously bad opinions, and it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. Yeah. And you guys can figure that out. And where can people find that?
Facebook.com/Lemaire Lee.
Okay. And Lemaire is, you can see his name, everybody who actually does watch this. We have 0 listeners right now, but oh well, they will eventually. And what do you do on the shows? Like, I know we're all in quarantine and we're trying to do the best in the entertainment business, right? So what's involved in one of your shows?
The show, we debate bad opinions that we have. Like one of the comedians on the show, this is my favorite opinion he said, was that you shouldn't be able to get a DUI during the day. Like that's, you know, like that explains up the shit. It's a bad opinion, but like he has to defend it for 2 minutes. And then someone comes in and attacks it for a minute and a half. It's hard to explain, but it's fun to see.
So on that note, what do you consider day? If that was one of the bad opinions, what does he consider daytime?
Daytime is just, he says, you're just out having a little fun. So,
okay.
You shouldn't be punished for having a little fun. If
That's fair.
Yeah.
What are some of the other shows that you're doing on Facebook currently? I know you said you had 3 of them. Is that correct?
Oh, I have a show where I talk about wrestling.
Oh.
Talk about wrestling. NXT right now we do a live cast using this same platform. We do a live cast on about NXT. Watch it as it's happening, like simulcast. I think that's
so who's your favorite NXT guy right now, or girl?
It was Bianca Belair, but she's on Raw now. She's on Raw.
The Est.
The Est, yeah, EST, yeah. I don't get. Oh well, who do I like? I like Dream, Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, baby, and then Kyle O'Reilly, Keith Lee, yeah. Damian Priest. I'm in on NXT.
So I have a dumb question for you. Mm-hmm. Compared to when we grew up, because I'm only 5 years older than you, wrestling was literally 7 times as big back then as it is now. Do you think those fans are actually gone, or do you think they're just streaming from download services that are like illegal? Sounds bad.
No, I think their kids are like they're like. I don't know. I feel like wrestling's bigger now, but like there's no like centralized way to watch it. Like, cause back in like the day, everyone had to watch it at the same time. But now everyone can watch it at different times, and all the services make it like easy to watch everything. Cause I know they only monitor like 5 days. I'm defending
Yeah.
WWE. That's why I'm defending them.
No,
I'm a stand.
it's fine. They put out a product of some kind.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like NXT. I like William Regal, Triple H. They're making a great thing now.
So this is gonna sound like I'm an old timer. I'm really not that old. But how do you feel about today's product compared to, I don't know, Stone Cold versus The Rock?
Okay.
Will we ever have that again?
I don't. Ooh. Maybe.
Do you see Seth Rollins becoming Stone Cold-esque?
No, I don't.
No?
It's not him. It's just like they have to. The thing about Stone Cold and The Rock is that they happen naturally, and everybody they have now is just anybody that happens naturally. They start pushing them. You know, they're like, no. Like,
yeah. Yeah, they could have had it with Daniel Bryan 5 years ago, but they just fucking destroyed it. Sorry for swearing, everybody who's watching. It's bad what they do. Even Kevin Owens could have been way bigger than he is, or Braun Strowman, for Christ's sake. They destroyed his push when he was just getting popular. It was crazy. So this is good. Normally I don't have conversations where I actually can talk back. Normally it's just questions.
Sounds like an AEW guy.
I am. I'm whatever's in front of me, guy. I'm of the opinion that it's all good, and I think that my biggest problem is it's become too fake, and that sounds bad because it's a fake sport, right? But it's not really fake. It hurts. I've been in a ring before, and realistically, well, it's choreographed. Good enough. That's close enough to what it is, but predetermined, I guess.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem is they're not making stars anymore. Not a one of them in either company can cut a proper promo. There's maybe 2 guys that can cut a proper promo that actually fires the audience up, if that makes sense. And that's where I see the problem with current wrestling more than anything else. I think that when it comes to that, if you can't do a promo, that's what draws the heat, right? And there's no managers anymore, which is a bad thing, because if you can't cut a promo, get a manager to cut a promo. There's somebody else that can do it, right? The most hated man in WWE right now is Paul Heyman when he comes on into the ring, right? No matter what. And it's not even Brock Lesnar. It's Paul Heyman that's actually hated, because when Brock speaks, he doesn't sound like he means anything.
Yeah.
When you listen to a Seth Rollins promo now, back when he was in the Indies, you listen to one of his older promos compared to one of his new ones, and there's a huge difference in what he's doing and the things that he knows. So it's difficult to understand why they don't let people go free and do their own thing, if that makes sense. They say no scripted promos. Yeah.
I see. I hear you.
Well, that's what made The Rock and Stone Cold great, is because they did promos off the cuff. Sure, they had a couple points, but they were doing it live, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you have points, and you get to the point, and then like you just it's like
Not a script like they're reading off a teleprompter.
It's like you lose the magic that way.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and it's any live. You look at the UFC promos, and they are what the WWE promos used to be.
Yeah.
Right? Conor McGregor versus, who was it, Khabib? He had the other guy wanting to shoot him. For Christ's sakes. But
at his friends. That's how mad he was.
Yeah, exactly. So your shows that you do, that's the second show that you do, is the WWE NXT show. Is there a third one you do?
Wednesdays at 8. And then I just put out sketches and stuff right now. All Black, the podcast. That's what we do.
All Black, so I couldn't be on it?
No. No offense, but yes. It's hard. It's not my call. I'm just a
it's all good.
That's machine. You can come on the NXT thing if you want to.
We'll see. But what's the All Black podcast about?
You know what it's about.
I don't actually. No. To be honest, And not a clue. What is it about? I live in the middle of the Midwest. To be honest, I've talked to more black people in the last 2 weeks than I've probably seen in my entire life. And
How do you feel about
how do I feel about it? I feel that people are people. It doesn't really matter.
it? Okay, all
Does
right.
that make sense?
Yeah, I was checking. um, uh,
Uh,
yeah, all black. You just talk about like we don't really. It's not really like blacks. We just talk about stuff that we think it's funny, but we don't like. We don't like filter it for white people. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like a lot of black stuff that comes out is filtered for white people, but we just like give it to them, like how we feel. Just like
Hmm.
that, we just express it.
That makes sense. You know,
You can
it's
say whatever you want, Jesse. I won't take any
no,
offense. Okay.
no. It's weird that there's. Here's the thing. I've got coffee right now. If we weren't doing this over Zoom and I was with you, I'd be having coffee with you right now. I wouldn't give a flying rat's patootie if you were black,
Yeah,
or Chinese or whoever you are. It doesn't really matter to me because you're a human being. I
yeah,
don't understand a lot of. I understand the trepidation on black people's part
yeah,
with dealing with white people because there has been a lot of racism in the past. But for me personally, on my own personal level, you're a human being. What difference does it make?
yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, um, if it's just strange to me that there is that divide,
Yeah,
and there still has to be that divide because of the world we live in.
yeah.
Does that make
It's a
sense?
way to make like racism makes dumb people feel better than makes people forget that they're all poor. Like they're better than someone else.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I'm middle class where I am at, but if I lived where you do, I'd be really in the freaking streets just simply because of the different prices of things there.
Yeah,
So yeah, I I think it's a country thing as well because I live in Canada
yeah,
and I don't see the systemic racism
yeah,
that deep, if that makes sense.
yeah,
We have more issues, I believe, on the First Nations front than on the Black front, just because of and yes, they're all brown people. I get that, but
What's
where I live, there. Hmm?
what's First Nation? I'm sorry, I'm not like.
Indian,
Oh,
like
okay.
Indian. In
Yeah,
Canada, we call them by what they want to be called.
yeah,
so, so, so,
yeah,
so, but yeah, First Nations, Aboriginal. I've noticed that in the U.S. that they call them Indians still, and that's super offensive.
Native
Uh,
Americans. I don't know. We switch. We have all
well,
we have all the stuff. I think.
well, you do, yeah, you do. The American history is just as bad as Canadian history, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
slavery and genocide.
yeah.
Addison, give me your phone if you want me to look at it.
No, but you
Uh,
guys became better about it. That's the only difference.
we have in some ways. We still have some systemic racism on the First Nations front. The Indian front. We the incarceration rates up here are about the same as the U.S. for white to black, if that makes sense. So there is still some of those issues, but some of them are socioeconomic as well. For
Yeah,
instance, they were put on reserves
yeah,
up here where they had the worst land in the country, and they weren't let off until about 30 years ago. Like
yeah.
they had to actually get permission to be let off, which is sounds fucking
No,
insane, right?
yeah.
Uh, so
That's ridiculous.
so yeah, this isn't the plan of the show, by the way.
No, dude, I like
uh,
the conversation. And I don't really know. I don't know anything about Canadian politics because here, the only time they bring up Canadian politics is when they want to make fun of Trudeau or like Rob Ford. You know what I mean? Like that's the
yeah.
only time. They're like, look at them being goofy now. You're like,
Well, the truth is that most politicians are idiots, to be honest. So,
yeah,
um, do you have anything else you want to promote? We've got 3 viewers on. By the way, viewers, if you've given StreamYard access and you type into the comments, you can ask a question if you want. So go ahead, viewers. If you want to ask a question, but only if you have StreamYard. Do you have anything else you want to promote before we end this off relatively quickly?
no, just Feud and Alt Black Feud. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. on Facebook Live /LeMaire Facebook.com/LeMaire LEMAIRE and Alt Black ALT-BLCK. That's on Spotify and everything. Yeah, that's the only thing.
That works.
Yeah.
That works. Sorry, my child just scared the hell out of me. So everybody who's watching, please go like Lemaire's page. Lemaire? However you damn well say it. I'm not French, so I don't know. Sorry. Go like his Facebook and all that other stuff. I want to thank you for being on. The last question I have for everybody is, in this time of coronavirus where we're all locked up, I'm assuming you're still locked up, what have you done today? One thing, not for anybody else and not this interview, but one thing you've done for yourself today to make yourself happy.
Man, I woke up today. That's all it takes.
That's it?
That's it.
That's
man.
it?
Up today, yeah. That's all it takes.
That works. You know, I'd love to have you back on sometime, and we end the show in one single way. We just do this and wave bye-bye, and I'll hit end the broadcast. Bye,